This show was underwritten by the Avis and Bruce Richards Family Foundation.
Hello, I'm Chef Ann Thornton, your host of this week's Lunch NYC. Today we're exploring sweets. We all love them, and New York is no stranger to great desserts. But can we have our cake and eat it healthily too? Today we're taking a trek around the 5 boroughs to see how New Yorkers are creating and consuming good desserts that are good for you. We'll also be exploring ways to upgrade your desserts, making a little bit of sugar go a long way. It's going to be a delicious trip through the sweeter side of the city, right here on Lunch NYC.
In a city the size of New York, finding a delicious dessert isn't too difficult. But what about when you're looking for something that tastes great and is good for you? Lunch NYC took a look at some New York treats that won't leave you feeling guilty. At Birdboth Bakery, everything is made from the best ingredients, even the walls.
We are in Birdboth Neighborhood Green Bakery in the Tribeca location. There are 3 main things that make our bakery green. It's the operation, the store itself, and the food. All of our foods are organic, local, seasonal, or all of the above. Our menu has always been based on the Union Square Green Market. The floor we're standing on is made out of marmoleum. It's an eco-friendly version of linoleum. This wall back here is made of wheat. Below it, the dark brown, is cork. We're famous for our cookies. So our City Bakery cookies, all made again with organic flour, organic sugar. The lighting used in the store is another way that we're green. Each of these lights use 6 watts. It's an LED technology. The entire store uses less than 100-watt light bulb. A lot of our clientele is people who are conscious of our food. They know where it comes from, they know what our business stands for, and they come here knowing that they're eating a delicious cookie, but they're also helping the environment.
Looking for something a little more cultured? Siggi's has been providing New Yorkers local, non-fat yogurt for the past 5 years.
When I moved to the States, I was always into food, but I gradually became more aware of what I was eating, especially in the States. And I really missed, skyr. So skyr is a strained Icelandic style yogurt. So it's basically very thick, because what you do, you take the normal kind of yogurt base that you make originally, and then you strain out the water. And as a result, you have like this kind of thick, creamy mass that is really dense and really high in protein. It's relatively unsweetened. If you're concerned about consuming fat, it's obviously non-fat because it's made from skim milk. This is our product. All our flavors are low in sugar and no starches, gelatin, stabilizer, artificial ingredients, or anything like that. Murray's, right here in the West Village in New York, was my first real store selling the product, and it frequently sold out. So I really just built the proper production line. It's delicious if you put a little bit of scoops of honey on top of plain skyr with a little bit of walnuts, maybe fruit. A friend of mine has it for dessert all the time with just cut up fruit and a little bit of dark chocolate shaved on top, really healthy.
At Kyotofu, the dessert recipes are as unique as the ingredients.
We are a Japanese dessert and sake bar located here in Hell's Kitchen, New York. We use tofu as an ingredient rather than a substitute, and so we use it to lower the amount of fat, sugar, sometimes eggs, sometimes flour that you would find in a normal dessert. We actually make our own tofu here. I actually traveled to Kyoto. I've been to Kyoto many times. I studied with a family that has made tofu for generations and learned how to make it in the Kyoto style and kind of brought that back here. Tofu is the only non-animal source of complete protein. It has, basically all the nutrients that you need. The Japanese have kind of historically looked at food is we'll use a little of this, a little of this, a little of this, so that you have a more well-rounded, balanced meal. And I really think that that's the right way to look at things for, a healthful lifestyle.
With hundreds of unique, healthy options for dessert lovers, it's always a great time to have a sweet tooth in New York.
We all know kids love frozen treats like ice cream. Well, here's a quick tip for creating a fun dessert that uses only one ingredient, fruit. Try popping some of your kids' favorite fruits into the freezer. You can use grapes, blueberries, or raspberries. Once they get popsicle-like in texture, they actually get sweeter. For an extra special treat, take a banana, slice it up, drizzle on some low-sugar chocolate syrup before freezing. It actually gets the texture of ice cream, yet will have less than half the fat and calories. Don't be surprised when your kids ask for this treat time and time again.
We absolutely adore dessert. It is our favorite meal of the day. And being in the city, there are thousands of places to get magnificent desserts.
But the challenge is, if you can make your dessert yourself, you have more control over the ingredients. You can make them as healthy as you want them. Today on LunchNYC, we decided to create our own dessert. But there's a twist.
We are traveling to all 5 boroughs to try to find locally grown ingredients to include in our dessert and make it healthy and supporting our city.
So, we have our lists. We know where we're going. I'm going this way.
I'm going that way, and I'll meet you later.
I'll see you later. Bye. Bye. First stop, the 4th Street Food Co-op in Manhattan for dried fruit and oats. I am looking for rolled oats and dried cherries. I see like so many dried fruits. Where do they all come from?
Each one comes from different places. So we have blueberries from Canada, raisins from California, cranberries from Quebec, and we do try to get things as close to home as we can. So we have 3 kinds of oats here, plus another set of oats in the fridge. All of these are from New York. Just about everything in the store is organic.
I know we need chocolate in our dessert, so I found a local Brooklyn-based shop that makes all their chocolate from scratch.
I was told that this is the best chocolate in Brooklyn.
Technically, the best chocolate in the world.
My journey has ended. Give me everything. Thank you so much. And thanks for all your help.
Thank you. Wait a sec. Did she pay?
I'm making a quick stop in the South Bronx to pick up some local pistachios.
There's a great farmer's market right off the ferry in Staten Island. That'll be the perfect place to get our apples.
I was sent here to Staten Island because I'm looking for the perfect apple.
I would go with something like this. That's Golden Delicious with a Jonathan, so that's a lot sweeter, it's bigger, and it's a little more softer than an apple, so if you're gonna bake it, you don't have to cook it as long.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have my 2 ingredients from Brooklyn and Staten Island. I'm all set to...
Our last ingredient is ice cream, so I'm heading to Max and Mina's in Flushing, Queens. They have every flavor you can imagine, even pizza.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. The dessert is kind of nutty and kind of fruity, so I was wondering if you had an ice cream that could pair with that.
Sure, I've got pecan praline Oreo. I have elephant's dream, which is peanut butter based ice cream with peanuts and marshmallows.
Paul, I really liked what was the first one?
Pecan Oreo.
That was really good.
There you go.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome, anytime.
I've got all my ingredients, so now it's time to put it all together.
Hey, hello. What took you so long?
Nothing.
So we have the apples from the farmer's market in Staten Island, the dried cherries and oats from the Co-op in Manhattan, the Mass Brothers chocolate from Brooklyn, pistachios from the Bronx, and the pistachio-flavored ice cream from Queens.
Now, what do we do with it all?
We make a dessert. So I'm thinking with all the stuff we have, we could make crumble and then hollowing out the apple and like serving it as like a bowl.
So we're doing this without any butter, any eggs?
Yeah, and no flour as well. So we've cut up all the apples and we're ready to start sauteing them to caramelize. What that means is we're just gonna add a little bit of sugar to soften them up a bit. We are heating up the skillet. We're just gonna add olive oil. We added a tablespoon of light brown sugar and I'm gonna add a tablespoon of agave as well.
So how long are we doing this for?
We are gonna do this until the apples are nice and soft. They're gonna turn a little brown.
Okay.
And the sugars are actually gonna get just a tad syrupy. The great thing about making recipes on your own, especially crumbles, is you don't really have to worry about measuring. You can add as much as you want. It's gonna take about 10 to 13 minutes. So there you have it. Our perfect NYC Big Apple dessert.
Remember, you don't have to go to all 5 boroughs to get the ingredients. You can get natural and organic and locally grown products in your area.
I
think all that's left is the eating part.
And that sounds like my favorite part.
Let's go. Everyone loves a good dessert now and then, but we all know what happens when we overindulge. Target areas like the love handles and that sugar pooch are all a direct result of too many sweets. Here are a few yoga moves to target those sweet spots. You're gonna come onto your back, take a big full body stretch on the floor, and opposite arm, opposite leg. Warm up that core. You could do this 1 to 3 minutes, and then you're gonna come on up to easy cross leg. Take a deep breath in, bring the arms down, and twist it out. Again, you're gonna stoke that fire of the core 1 to 3 minutes, and we're gonna end with a nice breath of fire, which will increase your metabolic function to burn fat. Bringing your hands to your core. And remember, to stay in the shape you want, balance what you eat with good exercise.
I'm in Union Square in New York City. I'm here to test people's sweet tooth. What do you do if you want the caffeine of coffee with the deliciousness of hot chocolate? Well, my friends, drinking chocolate. That's right. It's got all the health benefits of a dark chocolate and the caffeine of a coffee. But is it good? Let's hit the streets to find out. Now, guys, are we coffee drinkers here?
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
You like hot chocolate?
Even better.
Yes. I don't.
You don't like chocolate? What's your favorite? Milk, dark?
Dark, very dark.
How dark do you go? I know, right? That came out right? That was totally normal.
I love dark chocolate.
Really? What's your percentage of cocoa bean?
Oh, I like anything above 80.
85.
20% dark.
I don't really know the kinds.
What do you think when I say drinking chocolate?
Hot chocolate I heard of.
Right, exactly. You would think hot chocolate because that's kind of what it is. The only problem is all the sugar, right? What if you want to make a healthier choice? What do?
I don't know. I think that's when you come in.
That's where I come in. You're right, because I'm saying no to diabetes and saying yes to some delicious drinking chocolate. Okay. That's good.
That's very nice.
Delicious.
This is good.
Yeah, that's a good chocolate.
It's very good.
Right. It's too bad we gave you such a small cup, right?
It's spicy.
Yeah, it's a little spicy. It's 70% cocoa. It's got the antioxidants of a dark chocolate, but it's actually got less sugar, so it's a healthier choice. And the expert, you went ahead and gave it your seal of approval.
Yeah, I did. Bam! Seal of approval.
Boom.
It's better than coffee. It's very chocolate.
Well, actually, you're in luck because it is better than coffee. Because you know what? It actually has the caffeine that coffee has. But it's got less sugar, so it's got the antioxidants and all the good stuff for you from a dark chocolate. If you had the two, would you choose this drinking chocolate over a regular hot chocolate?
I think I would. There's no milk in it,
No, it's a little bit of steamed milk, but it's not even close to the sugar that a regular hot chocolate has. So you can feel a little better.
And it isn't like gummy like hot chocolate can get, with all the milk.
Is it organic?
It is organic as well.
Fantastic. Okay, sounds good.
Guys, Pamela, it's got her seal of approval. Patrick, you're gonna pick that over a regular hot chocolate, right?
I sure will.
So you would pick this over a regular hot chocolate?
Yes.
There you go. It's Daniel approved, and he knows his chocolate. Mom, what about you?
I think I would pick the less sugary version.
Right. Maybe let him have some for dinner next time?
Yes, maybe.
Hi, Daniel, I just got you chocolate for dinner. You owe me big time. If you like the bold flavor of coffee and the deliciousness of hot chocolate without all the sugar, drinking chocolate. You can find it all over New York City. Good.
Chocolate's main ingredient is cocoa, which is a plant, so it has a lot of the same health benefits as dark leafy vegetables. High-quality dark chocolate has 30% cocoa solids, and cocoa solids have nearly 8 times the antioxidants of strawberries. Eating 1 to 2 servings of a high-quality dark chocolate per week can reduce your risk of developing heart failure by 32%. Try dipping your favorite fruits in dark chocolate. The natural fruit sugars are a beautiful complement to the rich cocoa flavor.
When it comes to desserts, there's no denying the power of the cocoa bean. Chocolate has been around for centuries, but right now in New York, it's more popular than ever.
The reason why people love chocolate so much is, I think, very elemental. It's kind of just like wearing velvet on your tongue. The source of all chocolate is different from, say, a fruit. It only grows near the tropics, and chocolate has been eaten since 1100 BC, so it has a lot of history to it. When I first got into chocolate, I didn't know much about the secret underground community of chocolate, and now I'm part of it. So I know a lot about it. And the biggest secret is that it's just a group of people who are really passionate about what they're doing.
It started mainly out of curiosity for how things are made. As we started getting more curious about it and talk more about it, we started realizing that people don't make it from scratch. We started messing around in our apartment, basically turned our living room into a little chocolate factory.
Then we moved into this space about 2 years ago, and still slowly growing, making more bars, but it's just, just been this constant, natural, organic growth.
It's a surprisingly simple process to make chocolate, which is what's so interesting. When you're talking about food production on any food production on a large scale, the first things you're going to be thinking about are financial figures, efficiencies, yields, things like that. None of those terms are delicious, and you certainly won't make a delicious chocolate if that's what you're thinking first. When you're sourcing the best beans in the world, there's no reason to add extra vanilla, which is really just something that people use to kind of dumb down, in my opinion, to kind of dumb down the purity of the bean. Nor do we need extra butters or oils. All of these things are complete commonalities in every other chocolate maker. So we take pride in the simplicity of our beans and sugar recipe. These beans right here are loaded with antioxidants. For us, it's all about flavor. We want to make chocolate because it's the most delicious thing in the world. The first thing we do actually is take the bags of beans and we throw them on a big butcher block table, and we actually hand sort every bean. And we're going to hand sort everything, taking out little pieces of bark, beans that are too small, too flat, etc., etc. And then we roast the beans. Beans get a very delicate roast. We don't want to over roast everything. After roasting, then we bring it to this room filled with all of this custom equipment. For example, this winnowing machine right here separates the husk from the nib, the cocoa nib, which is the inside, the meat of the cocoa bean and the foundation of chocolate. After that, we then take the cocoa nibs and we put them in the granite stone grinders. These granite stones roll over the cocoa beans. Because of the high cocoa butter content of a cocoa bean, it will liquefy after about an hour and a half or so. After that, we have to emulsify the sugar crystals into the cocoa nibs, and that's about a 2 to 3 day process. And we do that using granite stone. After it's been in there for 2 to 3 days, slowly grinding and refining, we actually age our chocolate. Then we have to temper the chocolate, which is basically adjusting the temperatures, bring it up, bring it down, stabilize it, and then we pour the bars. After the bars are poured, everything is hand wrapped. I feel like every batch we make is better than the previous one, as opposed to industrial large-scale makers where they get worse and worse. They get dumbed down and more dumbed down because they're trying to make more money. We're just trying to learn how to make a better chocolate bar each time, so ours will get better and better. We always say, if you think our chocolate tastes good now, imagine what it's going to taste in 5 years.
But chocolate's not just for dessert anymore. Culinary experts are finding new ways to utilize the health benefits of cocoa.
One of the foundations of eating every day is a healthy breakfast. And what better way to start your day than having chocolate for breakfast? And one of the great ways to incorporate chocolate into a healthy breakfast is with oatmeal. So if you're at home, make this in the microwave, use instant oatmeal, don't buy the stuff in the packets. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to be adding some dried fruit. In this case, it's a number of different colored raisins, plus some dried cranberries. I'm going to mix that all together. I'm using a raw sugar here. I like the crunch of the raw sugar. If you don't, you can use brown sugar, honey, agave syrup. Then I'm going to pour in a little bit of milk. So here I'm going to add a little bit of fresh fruit to go along with my dried fruit. And then here you have it. A very nutritious, very healthy, quite inexpensive way to start your day with the bonus, it's got chocolate in it.
Cacao has more magnesium than any other food on the planet. And magnesium, well, 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium, which is one of the causes, perhaps, of all the heart disease we have in this country. So feeding our heart with the magnesium from cacao is one of the reasons why chocolate is one of the best heart-healthy foods on the planet.
New Yorkers' love of chocolate facilitates a huge import of the bean each year. But where does it all come from?
I think that there's a really good parallel between talking about why there's such a positive reaction in the city to knowing where your food is coming from. There are certain products, obviously, certain commodities that you can't grow here, coffee, cocoa, things like that. So I think what's unique about fair trade, particularly in certain commodities that you can't grow here, that there's an opportunity to extend the kind of dialogue that people are having with their local farmers. Because it really comes down to, you want to know where your cocoa is coming from in the same way you'd like to know where your lettuce and corn and things like that come from. And you'd also want to know that those farmers are being treated fairly.
We wanted to take it to the next level because cocoa beans aren't grown up in the Hudson River Valley, you know. They're not grown in Bay Ridge. And to ship the beans here, it takes a lot of oil, it takes a lot of gas. So we thought, okay, why not bring back the sail freight, you know? And it really started as simple as that. Using virtually no gasoline, we were able to go to the Dominican Republic and basically take much of the harvest that there's a couple harvests every year. We'll be able to take about 25 metric tons. That will be our whole year's supply of beans from Dominican Republic.
So whether they like it light or dark, for dessert or breakfast, New Yorkers have access to some of the tastiest, socially responsible chocolate in the world.
You just finished your meal and you're craving something sweet. Instead of reaching for that processed sugar, reach for a piece of fruit. It's nature's candy. Fruits are really good for you.
Fruits are really good to eat. Natural sugar that tastes real sweet. Vitamins, minerals, fiber too. Fruits are really good for you. Eat 5 fruits every day. Gives you energy when you play. Keeps you healthy in every way. Fruits are really good for you.
Eat fruit. It's an easy choice. Just keep your fruit bowl filled and you'll always have a great dessert that's sweet tasting on hand. Eat fruit.
I'm Dylan. I'm always hungry and I'm always looking for a new restaurant in New York City. But here's the thing, it has to be healthy. Let's visit all 5 boroughs to find the best healthy food in New York City. Out of all of the reviews I've done so far, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most. Dessert. Van Leeuwen ice cream is made from hormone-free milk and flavors from all over the world. How'd you get started with the dessert business?
Well, about 10 years ago, I saw an ad in the paper. It said, drive an ice cream truck. A month later, I was driving a Good Humor ice cream truck. And I was always really into food, so though it was a great business model, and I didn't love selling this ice cream because I'd look at the ingredients and I'd say, high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, cocoa processed with alkaline, not for me. About 4 years later, I was graduating from college. I was really attracted to artisanal producers and old-fashioned ways of doing things. I had an idea one day to take this awesome business model that has been around before World War II and sort of jazz it up with incredible ice cream, a new look, a more open look on the truck. And then that was the birth of the idea. We make a very special product. We only use fresh whole milk, fresh cream, cane sugar, and egg yolks. And we don't put anything else into our ice cream. So the fact that we're not using any stabilizers or gums or fillers like corn syrup, unfortunately, is a very unique thing in today's market. All of our flavors they sound really simple, but they actually are exotic. So, for example, for chocolate, we use Michel Cluzel chocolate. and they source the cacao from 5 very small plantations all over the world. The pistachio is another signature flavor. These pistachios grow only in Bronte, Sicily, and nowhere else in the world. The trucks themselves have freezers that recharge every night. So they do have generators, but they use hardly any power, and as you can hear, they're almost silent. Okay, so we've got the Sicilian pistachio and the Michel Quizal chocolate.
I could eat this all day. Yeah, that was good ice cream.
That's it for this week's episode of Lunch NYC. We've taken a look at some amazing updates to some after-dinner classics, talked to some people about why we crave the sweet stuff, and took a look at some restaurants that are using local fresh ingredients to dress up their desserts. Staying healthy and enjoying the treats you love is no cakewalk. But with the right knowledge and the variety of the greatest city in the world behind you, you just might find that enjoying what you want isn't as hard as you think. Check in next week for a brand new episode of Lunch NYC, and remember, save room for dessert.
Funding provided by